Hi, I'm Rebecca Ryan-King and I'm a speech pathologist, and I want to show you some visuals or some pictures that might help you when you're trying to not only teach a clear S sound or a clearer S sound with your student, but also give feedback on what the child might actually be doing now with different parts of their mouth. And this could just help in the teaching process, or if you want to talk to parents about their child's S sound production. These visuals might just be that one little thing that you can use in therapy that really supports your child's goals. So this is a card I usually show first when I like to teach the S sound. It really lets you know different ways or different places where articulators might need to be to say the sound clearer. So for example, I like to talk about a little bit of a tiny smile, corners of our lips, they might elevate a little versus like this. I like to draw reference to the teeth. The teeth are together, usually at the front, slightly touching, not clenched though, it's not like this. Because if I go, it doesn't sound right. So just gently touching usually at the front. And you can't see it here, but the sides of our tongue are lifting up. So it's kind of a little bit like that. And what that does is it creates a nice little groove for the air to flow down, and the air flows down the middle. Now sometimes I hear this, and you can see with this picture, if we compare and contrast, the air, instead of flowing down the middle, is flowing out the sides. And one of the main, barriers for this, or a teaching moment that I might teach the student, is how to lift the sides of the tongue up so that the air flows, like this, so that the air is flowing, I might show it like that, so that the air is flowing down the middle versus over the sides. So a visual like this can be really, really helpful, because you might say to your student, oh, I think I heard, or I think I saw the air come out the sides there, or it sounded like your tongue wasn't lifting in the middle, and I think I heard this one. Do you think? And you can provide feedback and show them this picture here. Another cue and another way that many children might make their S sound that might need our support is if their tongue is forward. So instead of the teeth being a little bit of a barrier and the tongue going up behind the front teeth, you can see the tongue like this: thi, tho, thun, tholt. And that sound can change depending on how much of the tongue is poking forward, and how, we're looking at the sides of the tongue. Is it just the front? Is it the whole width of the tongue? So where the tongue is, it does change the quality of that sound. So I might show this to the child and say, oh, I think I saw your tongue poke out for that sound. Remember, keep your teeth touching at the front, or make sure it's just a bit gentle, or try not to show me that tongue. So this is another way where you can use visuals to support children and make them more aware of what different parts of their mouth are doing and how it can change the sound. I'll show you another one here. So everything kind of looks a little bit the same, but the airstream can sound a lot stronger. So instead of being nice and slim and narrow or thin or gentle, there's so many different ways we might teach our children about the airstream. I usually use a word that they connect with the most. This one here, it's strong, or it's forceful, or there's too much. And so it might sound like this: she, or fee. And sometimes you can really see if the child has little gaps in between their teeth. You can see the tongue really pushing hard up against their teeth. And it shouldn't be pushing really hard. It should be back a bit, because it creates that nice gentle airstream. So those are just 4 different visuals. Obviously this is the one that we're trying to model and support the child with this type of S production. But these here, they're just 3 different visuals, and they're just ways that we might be talking about our S sounds with students. Now, if this is something that you think you need, if you think it's going to be helpful, we actually offer this as a free download. I'll have the link in our video below, and we'll email you these and give you a little bit more information in an email on how to use these as well. But I really hope that it's just something that's going to help your student. It can help them understand what they're doing now and maybe what they need to do to say a clearer S. So go and get that download now. And as always, it'd be great if you could comment on this video and subscribe, or even share this video with a colleague if you think they might want to hear how different S's might sound and if they want their own version of these visuals themselves.